Mayday! Come in! If anyone can hear me, my starship has been pulled into the anomaly. I find myself in a strange new world. It is a world with no sun, no stars. It is a world of anime. Comics. Here we go! Gaming. Movie. This world is the Rogue Planets. With your host, the Fat Mantis HD.
Hello and welcome to Rogue Planet. I am your host, of course, the Fat Mantis. We are bringing you all the nerd news, information, interviews, and hot topics that are happening today. It is Rogue Planet, and you can only find it here, well, on YouTube or on Twitch or on all the many apps that you find me. And if you find me on any app, remember to like, share, subscribe, and keep sending me that love. Only through your love am I able to do this show. It's a grand appreciation that I can do this. Tonight, we were talking about the hot button topic tonight, Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. Is this going to be a smash hit? Is it going to be worth the $60 million that they spend per episode? That's right. Stranger Things Season 4 was recently the most expensive show in history at $30 million. As you should know, House of Dragon is $20 million. This one, $60 million. However, there seems to be a campaign before it even comes out to hate on it. A lot of people are hating on this show, and I want to know what you guys think about it. We're going to discussion, and this is a call-in show, so if you guys feel like calling in, and you know how to call in, you either hit me up on the Discord, my Instagram, or my Facebook. If you're friends with me on any of these things, feel free to send me an audio, call me audio-wise. We'll answer. We'll have a good time. We'll do a powwow. How is everybody tonight? We've got Laney says WWRE about to taxi out, but I wanted to support. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I believe Laney's traveling tonight. I think she went to Nashville, and I think she's going to come back on a stream. She's going to tell us all about it. Hello, Sea Witch. How are you, my lovely Sea Witch? I hope you're living the dream down, I believe, in Philly. Hail to the Mantis, says Matt Cat. Thank you, brother. It is always a pleasure to have you. Matt, hail to the chat. Hail to Laney. Matt is sending his love. And I love all this camaraderie you guys all have. Auntie Cat in the hizzle, sending us the black hearts. The black heart of Auntie Cat is the greatest thing a human can receive. So you should all feel that love. And Matt Cat says, I hate it already. He also says, hail to Rebuke TV. Awesome. Here we go, guys. We are here. Tonight, we're going to, a little later down the line, we're going to have a caller in. But if you guys feel, Frank, you have something really important to want to say, feel free to call me. But we're going to get into it. So early reviews are out. And so for those of you who don't know, The Rings of Power are the Lord of Rings television series that Amazon has already invested $1 billion, that's with a B, in investing in it. They believe that this is going to be their smash hit to destroy all the enemy shows and become the top king of streamer. Not only do they have our dollars by selling us cheap plastic Chinese stuff for dirt cheap because of sweatshops, but now they also want to control our streaming lives. What are your thoughts, guys? I'm Auntie Cat Laugh Out. Don't know who that is. Oh. Okay, so we received black hearts from a different cat. Whoever you are, Cat A, thank you so much. That, wow, that was weird. A case of imposters going on. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, says Laney. Yes, thank you, Laney. Look at that. The skills on that. Billion, yeah, a billion invested for the episodes that they're gonna eventually unveil to us. I believe they already have 2 seasons ready. But so it's $60 million an episode. There's early reviews, and we're gonna discuss some of them. So one early reviewist, I'm just gonna say it's YouTuber X, aka the Grace Randolph. And I do listen to her reviews because I do think that she has some intelligent things to say, and things she pointed out, which I will be getting to. This channel will definitely be having a review of that show. Said that in 2 episodes, there's no action sequences. $60 million, really? Another thing is that she stated she could not figure out who the main character was. Now, the reason why I'm also citing her review is we've got another problem out here in the world of YouTubers and reviewers and all these things, is that there seems to be such a contingent on hating on it. You don't even know who to trust. There are people who have not seen it, who have already put out 20 videos plus, talking about how it's the end of the world, how it's horrible, it's racist, it's anti-racist, it's psychotic, it's SJW, it's the devil, it's the thing that killed your girlfriend in high school, that demonic thing that crawled into your room and tried to frame you. It's every evil thing in the book. And that is where I have to actually turn off YouTube when there are too many of these voices, because they're just on the hate parade. There's nothing really critical going on with these people. I mean, how can you have a hate parade when you haven't even seen it yet? I mean, that's kind of an odd thing. Matt says this show is DOA, and so I'm going to do a counter. I don't think it's DOA. And you know why? I think normies are going to love high-budget CGI and stuff. I think they're going to be into that, and they're going to... they don't care about your Tolkien book. I got to tell you, the normies who they're trying to reach, they do not give a damn about... the poems of Tolkien and his stuff. They just care about high budget CGI. They're not going to care the race of the elves, even if it's inaccurate to his vision. They don't care, and that's why I don't think it's going to be good. Matt says I also watch Grace. I think she has some good insight. Yeah, she often has good insights. Just when she talks about scooping or whatever, I just kind of zone her out. All right, listen, and then I realize I should have zoned that out because that's nonsense. This is it becomes the narcissist hour, but when it's not, she's insightful. I did recently ask kill me like one of your French girls, a very great horror channel. You guys should check that out, to write me a list of things I need to watch. Guess this is going in the list. Yes, I will remind the genius creator of Kill Me Like One of Your French Girls to add that to the list. Trust me, it's bad. No, I haven't seen it. Yeah, but what I'm saying is it super bad? Like, what is, define bad, right? The cat that pooped in your shoe, it's evil. Yes, it is the cat that pooped in your shoe, and you had no idea, and you slipped that sucker on, and then you walked about a mile to meet up with your friends. And it wasn't until one of your friends said, "What is that smell?" And you realize it's that fucking shitty black cat that you took in last week. Fucked you over. Wait, how many? So no episodes are out. I believe it's the first. I think it's the first. I believe tomorrow night there will be 2 episodes dropping at the same time. I'm going to do a review of the first 2 episodes. If I don't like them, I will stop reviewing it. But I will give my analysis of what I think the initial episodes are like, and if it's worthy to stick around. Now, obviously, people are going to make an obvious comparison to House of the Dragon. There's no way that's not going to happen, right? $20 million an episode. I've seen 2 episodes of House of the Dragon. That show is good. That show is friggin' amazing. Grayson said PG-13 for family fantasy. There we go. Grayson. I think it auto-corrected from Grace. Normies don't know this is coming out. No one I know knows about this show. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, the first 2 episodes are going to get great ratings because people will have to see, even if it is a train wreck. I just feel like The idea that they can't figure out who the main character is, that's 101. If they can't just give us a definitive main character, that's nonsense. Right. Lainey says, Auntie Cat, I am good. How are you? I'm extremely hungover. Blammo. I saw that crappy wire work in the Galandriel troll fight scene. It's going to be bad. Okay. I'll take a look. Here's what it is. I guess I'm the capitalist at heart. I shudder at the idea that someone could spend $60 million on utter crap. Now, I understand how they can miss the mark. If they're constantly putting SJW politics into it, characters that make no sense, or I actually heard, and this is a cringe moment, they're avoiding talking about referencing Lord of the Rings because they're legally not allowed to. So they're going to beat around the bush. An example is, I believe that instead of just calling them hobbits, they have to call them Harfoots, which is the subspecies. Like, it's the clan of hobbits that they are. But at no point will they be calling themselves a hobbit because that's too much like the original books. And so if you don't even have... Think about it this way. They spent $1 billion on a show that they do not have the legal right to use the word hobbit. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I heard ice face bath gets out. An ice face bath gets rid of a hangover. Thank you, Auntie Cat. I prefer greasy food and more alcohol. That usually works for me. So it's not even dropped on people. People have been hating on it for weeks, Lainey, and so people want it destroyed. And ultimately, here's the birth of this monstrosity. The Lord of the Rings is like the IP is in disaster zone. Three different sources own the IP for it, and so a certain group owns the original movies. And then, like, all the IP, but not the actual physical live action stuff, is owned by a gaming company in Europe, as Hold Up TV told us the other day on Fanboy Modeling School. And then Amazon has the Simulacron, which is, I mispronounced that, by the way, which is the prequel and, like, the histories that predate it from thousands of years. And so they're not allowed to always reference each other. And this is, like, one of the worst cases of this. And so it's in a really weird gray area. Well, for starters, Laney says that sounds amazing, Cat. No, it doesn't. An ice face bath never sounds amazing. What are you talking about? That's insanity. Isn't the main character that Hobbit looks like Helena Bonham Carter, but like poorer? I don't know. So Grace says she can't discern who is the main character or what storyline is important. Keeps bouncing from character to character, which I don't care about your budget. Shows should not be like... I hate shows like that. That is the worst. Yes, greasy food and Midol or what I use to treat a hangover. Okay. Yeah, please, everyone out there, share us your hangover cures. I'd love to hear it. Yeah, that would be awesome. And guys, this is just a reminder. Rogue Planet tonight is brought to you by Dope Dynamics, brought to you by the Hold Up TV. Immediately following this, check out Dope Dynamics. It's three very cool people hitting up the hip-hop culture, talking about all today's trends and information that affects not only hip-hop culture, but the world at large. Sometimes they go high, sometimes they go low. Whatever type of show you're going to get this week, it's going to be a good time. Check out Dope Dynamics immediately following this on stream. I mean, no, it sounds lovely, but it's okay. So are you saying the show, or are you saying an ice bath? I don't understand ice baths, let alone to the face. Like, that's not, I don't covet that. That's not a good time for me. If I were to go out like on a dream date and a girl's like, let's dump our faces in ice water, that would not, I'd be like, I'm out. You know? Hangover cure. Bloody Marys till I feel stable. Yo, Bloody Marys solve everything. They solve family disputes. They solve hangovers. They're the cure for cancer. A Bloody Mary. Mwah. But so okay, so we've got this overpriced monstrosity of a show tunneling toward us, right? And it's trying to do the streaming wars. Now, obviously, Amazon purchased this and decided to spend $1 billion before all the streaming shows were losing steam. And I don't know if you know this, like Netflix is still the king of streaming apps, but all the apps are losing customers. People are not even listening. Like people are unsubscribing to a lot of these things. With the recession is what it is, with inflation destroying us, with people having to return to their jobs and they can't stay home and watch Netflix all day, they're canceling it. They're really questioning, do I need Disney Plus? There is like 5 times a day I ask myself, do I need Disney Plus? I was literally thinking I should get rid of Disney Plus and instead get ESPN Plus. Because sports is coming back. It's the fall. There's a bunch of sporting events I don't want to miss. And I was like, I would rather have Hulu and ESPN than Hulu and Disney Plus. Now that is saying something. The state of streaming is in a really bad place right now. And so is this the best time for Amazon to spend $1 billion on a show it's possible no one's going to watch? Amazon might die after this. So they're saying that if this is like an utter failure, this would tank their streaming show. They wouldn't be able to fund any more streaming shows for quite some time. It would tank them in the water. You know, basically bankrupt all the other shows. Thank God The Boys season 4 is already filming. So you can't stop that train. They've already gotten their money. But it could easily delay season 5 or beyond. Or other Amazon shows. I don't know if you guys are really into Amazon shows. Was that a chef's kiss? It was a chef's kiss. It was. I don't normally do those. You know, you're in for a treat, man, that I did that. You're lucky you got to see that. Shaolin says, "Oh, it's a party tonight." Hey, you know that it is, brother, and you're always welcome. Just call me on any app, brother. Yeah, I can't get rid of Disney Plus. I got kids. That makes total. If I had kids, I'd watch that all. I'd just leave my kids in front of those all day. You see what a good father I'd be? Yeah, just watch Disney Plus. But I don't have kids. But I like rugby, and so I might get ESPN Plus and because Disney. Even though I'm liking She-Hulk, it might not be enough for an entire streaming app to just watch one Marvel or Star Wars show at a time. You know what I mean? Like if they had multiple shows coming out that I wanted to see, but they don't always. Let's see what's going on over here. Shaolin has entered the building. Vic says, if you want ESPN and more of a cable subscription, there's the YouTube bundle thing. That's a bunch of channels for like $80. Vix, thank you for that. Thank you for that. That was like incredibly informative. Very rarely in these streams do I have informative people come in. Usually just trolls or in my chat. I'm joking. You do the chef's kiss all you want. Yeah, no, thank you, Matt. Actually, as I was doing it, I was thinking, I was like, doesn't someone here hate it? And as I was doing it, I was like, oh, it's Matt. So I kind of saw that one coming. They should fund a show with you, me, and Lainey. Auntie Cat, I love that idea. Yeah, they're throwing all this money at Lord of the Rings. More like Lord of the Trash. And so I'm not saying I'm pro the show. I'm not saying I'm negative. I'm saying I'm going to keep my mind open, my listening ears on, my eyes attentive. But if they produce crap, I'm going to talk about it on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm going to blow your spot up, guy. Oh, I'll drop D+ if I don't have kiddos. Yeah, if I didn't have kiddos. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm. This is cat. What would we call it? Vic says, yeah, if you want cable, but the ability to watch it from anywhere, like a streaming service, you might want to. I am going to look into that because actually, what it is I'm trying to find a cheap way to watch foreign rugby. So I watch both French and British rugby. And I've been trying, and different apps have different options for it, but I'm trying to find the cheapest way. I thought ESPN Plus might be the cheapest way, but I'm going to look into if YouTube is providing it. What are you looking forward to with ROP? Rings of Power. Okay, so here's what I'm looking forward to. Just a fun, family-friendly fantasy story with some cool battles and magic spells. And the scariest thing is, I'm hearing in the early reviews that we're not getting much of that. Battles aren't going to happen. There's one fight with Galad's against some trolls. She takes out some trolls. Hopefully it's cool. I need to see cool stuff. If you're spending $60 million an episode, I need to see cool stuff. Be right back. Food time, says Mix. Okay. Awesome. So that's what guys, what are you looking forward to in this situation? Like what kind of situation are you looking for in a Lord of the Rings show? And it's a family friendly one as opposed to Lord of the Rings, or should I say House of the Dragon, which is very not family friendly. It's anti-family. Watching an episode of House of the Dragon will make your family split apart. You'll end up divorced. Your kids will hate you, and some incest will go down. So what I'm saying is they're the very opposite in spirit and tone. What is the better way to have fantasy if you have a preference? Yeah, that troll fight looks like garbage. The wire work, it was terrible. Okay, I gotta check this bad boy out. But so, I mean, were you guys looking forward to Lord of the Rings? Did I just blow my horn too early? But is a Lord of the Rings show something anyone actually asked for? And if you were going to make a Lord of the Rings show, what characters would you use? Sorry, guys. I just got to check in with my guest tonight. Make sure he's all good. And so I gotta say, if we're already talking, if we're already blowing love toward the ways of fantasy things, I gotta say, House of the Dragon has impressed me in ways that Lord of the Rings first season could not. I'm very vested in House of the Dragon. Like that is a good program. And so, do I need family friendly? Do I need, if they're not going to give me? With $60 million, you should absolutely have war scenes. You should have trolls marching down the streets, ripping each other's heads off, man. Like every episode. I was looking forward until they fired Tom Shippey. Okay, Matt, I didn't know that was going on. And so I don't know any of that drama. And is this what's riling up the troops? Is this what's making people all angry in the streets? Why? I know that a lot of SJW stuff is why people are angry at it, but who is Tom Shippey and what is his situation? Please let me know. I think both. Really, I need both in my house. Well, I mean, hold up. You're also you live in a household also with children, so I understand why you need a Lord of the Rings. I dig it. And so, this might be, I think we might have found our answer right here, believe it or not. That it seems like people with children are going to watch this show. It's their alternative to having a Lord of the Rings. And I'm sorry, I'm getting all my franchises confused. It's an alternative to having a Game of Thrones series. You can't have your kids watching incest and murder and mayhem in the way Lord of the Rings does it. So they're like, why don't we sit down with the kids and watch Rings of Power? And that's exactly how Disney, Pixar, all these guys do so well in the box office. The secret is it's not the kids in your household who are going to see the movie. It's that they have to bring the parents too. So you're getting it's never one person going to a Pixar movie. It's at least five. You've sold 5 tickets when a superhero movie might have sold 1, and 2, if that superhero fan might have a girlfriend. You might have lucked out and found a way to have a girlfriend. So there's that. But I'm saying they may win just out of families. Families alone could drive this home. I'm going to watch it, but I didn't ask for it. Yes, I certainly didn't ask for it. Oh, Tom Shippey is the Tolkien scholar. And so this reminds me of something. Kevin Feige, long may he live, but may he get his fucking act together. What he did to Marvel. There used to be the Marvel Comics Council. And what it is Isaac Perlmutter, head of Marvel, assembled a council of writers and artists who've been in the business for many years to watch over Kevin Feige's scripts, to revise them, and to make sure they're more Marvel-esque. And the thing is that Kevin Feige got so powerful, he's making so much money with his movies, he marched into Bob Iger, head of Disney's place, a couple years back, and he said, I want them disbanded. I don't want anyone to tell me what I do with my superheroes. And they did it because they thought he was going to bring it. And so I want to point out something that is a weird correlation. Infinity War and Endgame were already written, but they were under production when Kevin Feige did this. Meaning Phase 4 is the first time we're really seeing a leashless Kevin Feige. And we all know how we feel about Phase 4. So is it possible that he lost the magic when he got rid of people who were reminding him of comics lore? Did Rings of Power lose its significance or its validity when they got rid of someone who was checking their marks about continuity with Tolkien's dreams? He was keeping them as close to the lore as they could, and they didn't like him telling them, no, you can't do that all the time. Yeah, and that's what Kevin Feige did to the Comics Council. All the greats were on there. A lot of I'd say modern greats. Michael Brian Bendis and Kelly Sue DeConnick, Hickman, they were all on the Comics Council when it was disbanded. And so because Kevin Feige was just I do not like people telling me how to live my life. And look at what he's done to them. He's literally bended every Marvel character over and had his just grotesque way with them. It's been a disaster. So this is actually this is interesting. So what we've discovered tonight is that families are going to gravitate, not just that it's family, it's G-rated or PG-rated, but families feel the not obligation, but they feel drawn to the Rings of Power because it's just something their kids could watch. And so that could bring in high numbers, man. That could really bring in high numbers. And then we also have discovered that we noticed that there's a correlation between the decline of a product and eliminating its source material. Yes, getting rid of Tom Shippey was the worst decision ever. What up, Bix Plays? Welcome back to the stream. We are still talking about lore, Rings of Power, and we are still waiting for our guests to call in. Of course, you guys are all welcome to call in, and if you want to just talk, and you can really talk about any fandom you want to. But I would love to hear some of your thoughts first on the Tolkien and the Rings of Power situation. So Compia had a real good take on this. He thinks that a lot of the detractors are a lot of white noise. I that's another thing. I'm thinking that they are. So if it's always the same troublemakers, and I'm not going to say I don't watch their channels, but it's always Nerdrotic. It's always Ryan Kinnell. It's always that Star Wars girl. to it's geeks and gamers too. These people are always giving negative, crappy reviews to big business. They hate Disney, they hate Amazon, they hate billionaires. And anything that they produce, they're going to hate, and they're going to make videos hating on it. Like, I see that Star Wars girl make hate videos on She-Hulk. This girl needs to take an antidepressant because she is wiling right now. You need to calm down, little girl, because you are just out of control. And it's not that serious. And so it is possible that they are white noise. It is possible that they're just saying, look at this disaster. And also the more they say things are disasters, when they're not disasters, makes us not believe them. I used to follow this one guy. I started following because of Obi-Wan. And he's a British guy. Dessa Rutu or something. It's just some stupid thing. Anyway, this kid was so good at shitting on Obi-Wan. I was like tuned in every week to this kid's videos. I was like, I love this. He would just great arguments. And then after Obi-Wan ended, I figured out that his pattern was every franchise he hated on. And after a while, like real quick, I was like, wait, he just hates everything. He tried to say that The Boys was woke. You fucking crackhead? Pardon my French. I didn't mean to say crackhead, but I certainly mean to say fucking. It's the least politically correct thing I've ever seen in my life. Hello. Hello. Here we are. We've got our first and most important caller of the day.
Oh, man.
One Courtney Monroe. How are you, my friend?
I am well, sir. How are you?
I'm living the dream.
Living the dream?
Are you?
Hey, one foot in front of the other, baby. That's all I got. No, it's all good, man.
That's usually what I mean when I say living the dream. I basically mean like I woke up today, so I'm living the dream.
Hey, and that's more than some people can say. So, I'm not going to complain, man. It's all good, baby.
Well, it's great to have you on the show, man.
Hey, man. Thank you for allowing me to call in.
You're always welcome on Road Planner or any of these shitty podcasts I do.
Oh, man, look, you got to give yourself more credit, man. You're the hardest working man in this business, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Thank you for saying that, because I am.
You are? Hell yeah.
Hold up as a close second, but...
You know what, man? Let's give Steve them flowers, too, because that man is on here every night as well. Both of y'all.
So the Hold Up TV, man. Yeah. To the first and second hardest working people in the stream game.
He's like the Legion of Doom, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Matt said, is the guest Tom Shippey? Unfortunately, it's Courtney Monroe, but Courtney's way better than Tom Shippey.
Yeah. I'm Shaolin Iceboxer, if you're not aware. That's me.
Right.
So, so about the Rings of Power.
Okay, let's do it.
Listen, man, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm really not. But I'm not like a huge Lord of the Rings guy. I never really have been. In fact, I'm not really a huge fan of the whole medieval, story plot. It's just never been my shtick. You know me, man. It's always been kung fu and more Eastern themes and comic books and shit like that. But I've never really been into that genre. Okay. But I have seen all the movies. And, they're okay. A little long.
I agree. Too long.
Too long. And
especially since a lot of it is just walking through a forest. You could cut out some of these scenes of people walking through forests, man.
I know. Just wide, sprawling fields with epic music.
Yeah.
I mean, the scores are fantastic.
I agree. 1,000% agree.
But those false endings, man, I just, after like the third or fourth one, I'm like, can we end this damn movie already?
Oh,
please?
yeah. They
can we get it over with?
Yeah, the ending to the third one, what is it, Return of the King? It was like 40 minutes long because they kept being like, and then, and I'm like, Bix Play says, I have no opinion. I stopped watching Lord of the Rings stuff after the first 3 movies. Never watched The Hobbit or the other stuff. Matt says Nerdrotic is a legit Tolkien fan. Star Wars Girl and RK Outpost and Gigi are not Tolkien fans. Okay.
That Star Wars girl, is that who he's talking about?
Yeah.
Ugh. Threw up in my mouth a little bit. All right. Sorry. Anyway.
Yo, have you seen her She-Hulk rants?
Another complaint I have, though, and this is going to be really shallow. Okay. All right. My man. It just kind of plucked my nerves watching these movies and seeing not a hint, a single solitary drop of pigmentation anywhere in those films. That shit kind of plucked my nerves. I'm just sitting here watching a bunch of white people just run around the whole time, and I'm like, okay, this is cool, but this is. I'm just saying.
As the Hold Up TV would say, it's another white movie where white people are doing amazing white things. And so, I sometimes love movies like that. Like, for instance, I love Avengers, but that is exactly what Avengers is. One.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Is utterly that. You're like, you couldn't get any brothers in there?
I know, man. Like, I know. And honestly, it just was something about the Lord of the Rings specifically, and I don't know if I can even pinpoint it for you, but there's just something about the fact that there was just droves and droves of white people. And look here, all right? Don't nobody in the chat, or if you playing this back, hit me with no woke bullshit, okay? I'm just saying that shit kind of bothered me a little bit, but whatever, all good. Yeah. I will definitely give this show a shot to see what it's about. The whole mess with who owns the rights and this and that already kind of lost me, because it sounds like a fucking disaster waiting to happen.
Yo, they cannot call them hobbits. How crazy is that?
That is so dumb. You're going to take the people who know like just a casual amount of Lord of the Rings and completely lose them, because they're not going to be able to know. You have to like know the lore to understand that.
Yeah. And so I think it's possible that also, I believe, and don't quote me, because like I like you, I'm like a casual Lord of the Rings fan. But right. my understanding is that Sauron was not a normal species. He was a rare species. But I don't think they got the rights to it. So he's just like an elf.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe they changed the way they look, but apparently he doesn't fit the physical description of what the species is supposed to look like.
See, we're not off to the races, man. We're not.
No.
Now I will say this though. Would you say 60 million per episode?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. That intrigues the hell out of me. Like, that amount of money per episode makes me just want to watch to see what they do with that, because that is a huge budget. It's for an hour.
By far the largest. So before Stranger Things season 4, when Stranger Things season 4 came out, it was considered ridiculous for 30 million. And House of the Dragon is 20 million. And so that's a full fantasy. They have dragons. They have CGI dragons hanging out with them. They cast magic in there too. That's 20 million.
Right.
And then Stranger Things, I realized what was really, really costly. It was making Millie Bobby young again.
Yes.
Because they turned her straight up believably into an 8-year-old girl for like 5 episodes.
And for most of them too.
Yeah,
that was most
there's
of the
always scenes of her doing that. So I realized that's probably where a lot of the money went.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is double those, I want to see what kind of magic they're pulling out here, because I better be really impressed, man.
Yo, that's exactly what I'm saying. And you made a good point there, bringing up Stranger Things, because I actually thought, people may disagree with me, but season 4 to me was kind of more of a return to form.
It's 1 and 4, baby. It's 1 and 4. 2 and 3 are like, they're there, but like they don't have the magic.
Yeah, like, it went back to the horror roots, and it had more of the mystery sort of stuff going on that like the first one really nailed. And then they did well with that amount of money. So if they can do that, then I am optimistic about what we're going to get with, I can't say Lord of the Rings of Power.
Yes, it's not even Lord of the Rings, so it's Rings of Power.
Can't even call it. That is so stupid. That is so dumb.
Vic says living the dream, aka I woke up today. Hold Up TV says hashtag Star Wars girl and Mantis are a cute couple.
You know what? Look here. Okay, that girl, that Star Wars girl. Okay, I'm not going to be a hater. I know I said some rude things earlier. She's cool. She knows her base. She knows who to cater to.
She is nuts.
She's
though.
attractive.
She's totally nuts.
You know, she's a businesswoman. I'm not going to hate, but you know, there's only so many nails on a chalkboard I can take before I have to tune out. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So, yo, real quick, man,
yeah.
if we could, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about She-Hulk yet.
Okay, and that's funny. That's a good transition because this whole thing is like real quick because Star Wars girl just went on like an endless fueled rant where like she's posting 6 times a day or 7 times a day hatred for She-Hulk videos.
See?
And
this is why I can't stand her.
The thing she was going crazy, she went crazy. Like she literally went crazy that she said the first thing a woman would do if she became a Hulk was go straight to the doctor and see if she could get pregnant because she needs to find out the ramifications of a gamma irradiated baby. I mean, who wouldn't do that? And like she's ranting an entire video about that.
The hell is she talking about? It's nonsense. That just broke me.
I think she just didn't take her medication or some shit. So this is a perfect segue, right? Real quick, let's wrap up. Let's wrap up the Lords real quick. Vic says, "Don't look at me. The only movies and TV shows that I get mad at are the ones that cast minorities for no reason and to appease people rather than casting them based on their actually being part of the." Yes, and so I agree with that. As you know, I'm a turned Cyclops into a black man guy, but you guys have taught me the error of my ways. I realize that is stunt casting, and that's just to be edgy, right?
It could be. It could be. So in my mind, if it's done well, then it's really not like a big fucking problem, in my opinion. I feel like people just kind of, you know. I guess it's more about balance, is what I'm trying to say, right? Like if you're flipping someone just to do it for shock value, that's fine. But if the character actually is good and is written well, then what's the big fucking deal? You know what I mean? I feel like people cry about things like that more than they should. You know what I mean? Like it's all good.
and like for instance, in this one, I think people are flipping out too much that there's a black dwarf and a black elf. Like I like, come on. Why can't there be one black elf? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Look,
my man from House of the Dragon. I haven't watched it yet, but the brother from House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Did you see the quote that in response to all the backlash?
I did.
Did you see this?
I didn't see this.
Okay, so I'm gonna butcher it, but I'll find it after we're done and I'll send it to you. But it was something along the lines of, you know, he's saying we have a whole show with dragons and ice zombies, and they see a black dude in here, and everyone loses their fucking mind. And I'm like, preach.
Right. And actually, what he said is, he said the most unbelievable. Because another thing is, not only is he a black dude, what it is because they actually have the story where he's a black dude, but he like struggled hard to make money. Now he's super rich, and like he made it. He came from nothing basically, and now he's here. And he says, you can believe all these fantasy stuff, but the most unbelievable thing is a black dude with money.
That's it. Yo, I mean, all I'm saying.
I agree. And he's a great character. He's a friggin' great character. I love his character. They call him the Sea Snake, and that's his nickname. And he's a political master, and he's a badass, and I love him.
All right, I'm gonna watch. I swear I am.
Watch this shit. Because you didn't watch Game of Thrones.
I watched the first season. I saw the whole first season, and I did like it
because it gets even way more wilder along the way. But the good news is you can watch this, and you don't have to watch the original to really know what's going on, because this is its own story, you know.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Yeah, my memories from Game of Thrones is, you know, Jason Momoa giving you know, homie the gold bath over his head.
Right. It's like a golden crown for a king. Like that's what's up.
Yeah, crown for a king.
Yeah, crown for a king, baby.
There you go.
Oh wait, I guess I'm hanging out longer. Our plane got decommissioned. Yo, Lainey's having the hardest time coming back to civilization. She was out on a trip, and because there's all this. What is it? There's what is it? These airline shortage of like staff.
Oh,
and they're just canceling planes left and right.
Damn, man,
And
that's awful.
It's garbage. But yo, let's transition to She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And so what did you want? What are your thoughts?
All right. So this show is getting very unfairly attacked.
Yes.
I know exactly who's doing. I mean, we all know. This is a bunch of fucking virgin nerds.
It's Geeks and Gamer and their crew and their boys and their extendo family, right?
You know, like it's just, again, it's all about balance, okay? Because I can understand why there are some things in the show that might bother some people, but those people who have a problem with the show and have those problems with the show can't see the good as well, which there is good in the show.
It's clear that they're not trying. They don't ever, in their reviews, they're not reviewing them, talking about them. They don't ever mention anything that's good. And so that's the problem.
Exactly. So really my biggest problem was the speech that she gave to Bruce when he was trying to help her, you know, with her Hulk, with her powers and shit.
Offensive.
And he was trying to explain to her how to control her anger.
Yeah.
So that she can keep her powers in line. And then she goes off about, you know, I'm a woman and, you know, I've struggled with anger more than you realize. And if that was at just like a normal man, while it still would have been maybe a little cringe, it wouldn't have been nearly as bad as her telling that to the fucking Hulk. The man who has to keep his anger in check or he can level a city. And you're telling me you have to keep your anger in control more than him? Are you crazy?
And so I love it.
That shit I've ever heard.
Everybody cites what they've seen in the MCU about the Hulk. They're like, well, this man was enslaved and forced to be a gladiator and beaten. And like, he was almost murdered, brutally murdered by Thanos and like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that is true. Hunted by the government turned on him. But the thing they don't mention, and I guess because they haven't put it in an MCU movie, but it is canon to Hulk. Hulk was terribly physically abused by his father.
Oh yeah,
and he fucking absolutely knows what fear and anger and frustration is. So
absolutely,
who the fuck is this chick?
That really plucked my nerves. If she had said that to any other character in that show other than the Hulk, like I said, it would have been weird, but I would have accepted it. But dude, it's like you said, this man has had a life that no one would want to experience, on top of having to keep his rage in check or people will die. Like there's no comparison, honey. I don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah, it was a feminist rant. It was a feminist rant there to be feminist. There to alienate us. I don't know why they want to alienate males, because they need our vote to be successful. So I don't know why. But that was the only thing that offended me. So I'm not storming out on the show. But I agree with you. I didn't like that scene. I did not like that scene.
Yeah, that was really the only problem that I had. And honestly, that wasn't really even a deal breaker for me. You know, first episode was great. I saw a lot of people had an issue with the fight that they had. And how people are trying to say that, you know, she's better at being a Hulk than the Hulk. But I would actually disagree, because they showed in the training montage that he is, in fact, stronger. But, you know, he doesn't want to, like, clobber his cousin.
He's not going to, on the first day training, kick the shit out of his female cousin. That would be ridiculous. Exactly. Right? So, obviously, they were having a fight, but it was a cousinly spar.
Exactly.
That wasn't a real
fight.
Wasn't
going for blood. Yeah, right.
And after she showed her scrappiness, he was like, "Okay, you want to go? Leave." That's basically how I see it.
Yeah.
But he could have knocked her into another planet, basically, if he really wanted
to. He threw that rock. I mean, that thing is probably in orbit right now. You know.
Right.
So you didn't like the Steve Rogers gag?
I thought it was
the virgin thing.
It might have been because they spoiled it early. But I felt like it did not. It wasn't read well.
Okay.
But to follow the gag, you have to listen to 5 or 6 paragraphs of her going on, and that's a bad way to tell a joke.
That's true.
That is a bad way to tell a joke. And like maybe throughout the episode, she could have been talking about it in different phases, and at the end be like, and in summation, I think he's a virgin. That might be funny. But we're sitting in the car ride. I'm watching her ramble, and I'm already lost track of what she's talking about. You know?
Yeah, you're right. If you have to just overly do a joke like that, you're gonna the delivery is compromised at that point.
I think it is
I
funny
hear
that
you on
she's fascinated with his sex life, and that's funny.
Yo, so you know Captain America, at least in the MCU, is one of, if not my favorite characters
Right.
in the MCU, right?
Right.
So when that bomb got dropped, that my man actually had a encounter with one of the young ladies on the USO tour.
Yes.
I didn't really know how to feel about that, man. That kind of made me feel a certain way.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, bro, like, you're Mr. Purity, and you just, I don't know, man.
My man, no, wait, hold on. Here's the thing. I liked hearing that because I don't like the idea that he is a virgin. Fuck that. Incels have never changed the world, and they sure ain't saving it. Fuck that. I'm not letting a virgin save the day. Fuck that. And so I feel better knowing that he banged in war.
Yeah, when you put it that way, I do get it. And then at the same time, I mean, he's a specimen. Look at the man, okay?
How would he not get laid all the time?
Yo, look, I can admit that is an attractive man, and then they even act like that in the movies. So yeah, I mean, there's no way somebody didn't get to that. So no, that. And
here's what it is. I think in the movies they actually specifically wanted that image to go on so that it makes him being reunited with Peggy all the more romantic.
That okay.
So that we can be like, oh, he resisted women all these years so he could be with her. The
perfect man, Steve Rogers.
Right. But however, in my eyes, as a man, I have trouble respecting him. I don't care how many Nazis he's taken out if he has never gotten laid.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. I 100% understand that.
And like the people who there's a big contention of people who talk about how they believe Jesus had to have been married.
Oh yes.
Yes. And so one of the things that they say is that he's a rabbi, he's an established rabbi in the Bible, but back then you couldn't be a rabbi if you didn't get married. You had to be a man, you would have already had to have been married. Even if you weren't hitting that, you had to have a woman in tow to be a rabbi. They would have never accepted him as a rabbi if he wasn't. And that's one of the arguments. And so that's my argument for Steve Rogers. You can't save the world if you haven't gotten laid. Boom.
We're going to drop the mic on that one. I'm not even going to follow up because that was just expertly worded.
Thank you. Maybe Cap was saving himself for Jesus. Maybe maybe saving himself for marriage. Maybe he loves Jesus. That's very true. It's possible, man.
I mean, he is. He did say there's only one God, man, and he doesn't dress like that. You remember that?
I love that line. That is freaking amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So, fandom. And any other thoughts on She-Hulk? And any other fandoms you want to bring up?
Yeah. So real quick, man. So episode 2, I thought it was good. It was a little short though. I blinked and it was over.
20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little on the short side, but I loved it. I think they're doing kind of a good job of understanding She-Hulk. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to see punching in every single superhero thing ever.
I agree. I
feel like they understand, or at least they're understanding so far what to do with her, and I like that. So I love the stuff with the Abomination. But you know who I'm waiting on? I'm waiting on Matt Murdock. That's who I want.
Oh, absolutely. And the sad thing is, I believe a bunch of reviewers have seen the first 4, and they're saying he doesn't appear in the first 4.
Oh, my God. We got to wait that long.
Yeah, and so there's 9. I think there's 9 episodes of She-Hulk, longer than any other show. So we might have to wait. So have you heard about who the speculation of like a hidden character is at the end?
Is it Ben Grimm?
Yeah.
The thing? Yeah. So I'm cool with that. Don't they have a history in the comic books or something like? Didn't they get together or some shit?
Did they? Was he hitting that?
Or maybe it's just her. I mean, she flirts with everybody, man.
Right.
She's so like sexually liberated. Maybe that's just what I'm thinking about.
I mean, I could be wrong because I someone pointed out that she had a relationship with the Juggernaut before, and I never knew that either.
Yeah, I knew that.
I was
I
like,
know
what?
Wolverine. She hooked up with Wolverine at one point.
Actually, comics are almost like a freaking soap opera. People are
Yeah.
banging left and right. Captain America has tapped almost every chick on the Avengers. He got with Black Widow. He got with Scarlet Witch.
Oh my god.
He's been with a couple of these chicks. Yeah. And so, Tony
Wolverine.
Stark.
Oh god. Oh yeah. I know.
Tony Stark has been with he's been with She-Hulk. Yeah.
Wolverine though, bro. I don't get it, man. How's a 5'3" ball of fur and disgustingness just hit off every single like female comic book character there is?
Well, okay.
That dude that slept with everything.
I got two theories about this. Right? Okay, one, it's the badass factor. He's more of a badass than anyone else, even more of these other guys we're talking about right now. And so therefore women dig that. Especially not for a boyfriend, but for like a one-night tussle.
Okay, but that does make sense.
She's just like, he's such an asshole the way he talks to people. Like, he's an asshole too. The girl, she wants to get smashed out once and then never again, basically, with him. Right? And so my other theory is, so he has the feral power, right? So he has all the powers of a feral mammal creature, just to a super extent, right? And one of those things I think might be super like animal magnetism.
Oh yes,
that's my theory. That's my theory, that his pheromones are like very animalistic, and girls are just like just want to hit that.
Dude, man, you always bring the thunder with the answers, man. You really do.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be it, right?
No, it's 100% what it is. I can't justify it otherwise.
Yeah, Bix Place says, and Spider-Man bypasses the rule because he doesn't save the world; he only saves New York. So here's the thing, though: the movies may not have him smashing all the time, but if you read the comic book, at a certain point in the comic book, Spider-Man is hypersexual.
Dude, when he first met Silk, that was like it was a little graphic, man.
Throughout the 80s and 90s, it was almost considered inappropriate. They wanted to ban Spider-Man because all the things with him and Mary Jane was sex on legs. That was her thing. Like Gwen Stacy was like a nice, smart science girl, and then Mary Jane is the ferocious sex pot. And there were all these not inappropriate, but scenes of them lying in bed, word bubbles covering their genitals.
Yeah.
They were banging all the time. That she was calling him Tiger.
Yeah.
She's like, go get him, Tiger. You better come back to me. Spider-Man got laid a lot in the comics.
He did. And dude, when he first met Silk, so backstory for Silk, she actually got bit by the same spider that bit Peter Parker.
This is the Asian girl who like has his powers and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So Cindy Moon, yeah. So she's Silk, the Asian female version of Spider-Man. Convoluted story, but long story short, she ended up getting bit by the same spider before it died. They retconned it, of course. Right. But anyway, when they first meet, dude, something about like the connection of the spider.
He's having like the spider. It's like another spider chick.
Dude, they go insane. Like they just start like banging all over the place for like days. And apparently it's because the same spider bit him and there's some kind of attraction or something.
Well, I mean, it's like meeting someone of your same like you're living amongst a different species and then you meet a woman of your own species. You probably want to hit it.
It was crazy, man. And I think even they were kind of like, all right, like why, what's going on here? And then they figured out that's what it was. But I just remember like some of the art being a little sus, man.
I got to look this up, man, because I don't know much about Silk, but now you make me want to read it.
Yeah, man. They were all up and down the city, man. So yeah.
Matt says Wolverine gets biatches because he's manly. Parker is a tiger in the sack. Yeah, he is. Hello, Elise Luna. How are you? We unfortunately are wrapping up. The kind of sex would be right. Imagine, right, Elise Luna with Spider-Man upside down, doing it on a web. Amongst the buildings, this would be crazy.
Look, the dude is super strong. He can do all kinds of stuff with you, man. He's mad flexible. If you think about it, Peter Parker is probably like the best lover that there is, my man. Like, like if superheroes were real, man, it would be going down in these streets.
And that's
for sure.
the thing. I think people don't realize that even though these guys are science nerds in the comics, they get laid. It very much like comics is like a soap opera. They're not just punching each other out; they're also like getting with each other. And there's like, relationship shit, and like, Cyclops is attracted, having fantasies with about the White Queen, but his girlfriend can read minds, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, X-Men is all about sex. Spider-Man, there's a ton of sex. It's all sex.
Dude, that whole Scott Summers, Emma Frost, Jean Grey thing was insane, man. I remember that.
The comics didn't stray away from sex. I know MCU is like a family company, so they have to, but our characters got some, and that's what I expect from Captain America.
Absolutely. And I feel like She-Hulk kind of pushed it a little bit too with some of the stuff. Well, like, I don't know, this might be the one where we get an actual hookup, man.
Yes, where she drags a dude back into her room.
Yeah.
This should be interesting. My one downplay I gotta say for She-Hulk, the thing that really annoys me the most is just the CGI. That's my only complaint. I can get over it. It's not Dobby the house elf bad, but it's like not great.
Yeah, it definitely is noticeable. You do have to kind of suspend your belief a little bit to make it more palatable. I'm not going to disagree there. It was great in the first episode. Like, it was movie quality, especially with the Hulk. Like, he looked just like he does in the movies. But definitely the second episode, it's very noticeable. So.
Yeah, when she's in the bar, I was like, oh my God. There were times her eyes just were totally uncanny valley. Like, it was like... Elise Luna says gives a whole new meaning to the word web shooting.
Oh boy, that was good. Good job.
Sex sling sounds wonderful. Wow, a web sex sling. Okay, this did go wild. But the good news is that does conclude Rogue Planet for this week. Courtney, I'm so glad to have you on, man.
Oh man, thank you. Anytime.
It's good. You. Do you want to do any shout outs or any plugs before we head out?
Hey, look, if you want to connect with me, feel free. Shaolin Iceboxer, all one word. I'm all over the place.
Like on on all apps, you're Shaolin.
Shaolin Iceboxer, that is correct. And then, if you want to follow Saberlight Knights, feel free to do so.
Yeah, let's get our lightsaber on, man.
About it, but yeah, that's right. Swing them glow sticks around, baby.
Yeah, off with your head with my neon light. Yo, guys, this has been another episode of Rogue Planet. Thank you all for stopping in, especially Courtney Monroe, everyone in chat, such as Elise Luna, Matt Kett, Laney, Hold Up TV, Gray Winthrop, and many, many others. Bix Plays. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I love you all. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit all the lovely buttons that you can for whatever app you're on. Show us love here at Rogue Planet, and we will keep giving you love with excellent episodes. We're going to talk about more about the sex lives of superheroes.
Can't wait.
But until next time, ciao. Oh, and guys, remember, tune in directly after this. I wouldn't be surprised if they already started. Hold Up TV and Dope Dynamics. Check that out. They're always a good time. Until next time, ciao. For now.
Peace.
Peace.